Good morning, this is V, and I recently finished a book called Bitter Medicine by Tsai. This story is set in a version of our world where you have both Fae and humans, though Fae in this case is a loose definition for pretty much all supernatural beings, and there's a lot more reference to, Asian categories. For instance, like tanuki and fox spirits and creatures like that. The main character, Elle, is actually descended from a Chinese medicine god. Like, she has some pretty powerful magic, I guess. Like, she's technically really good at painting spells and charms, and she's also a really skilled painter in general and artist. But she is living in hiding. Like, she's trying to protect her older brother and herself from her younger brother, who wants them both dead for reasons related to their family ancestry. Like, since her older brother and Elle are both higher in the line of succession, there are certain stipulations related to their magic and the powers that they receive from their god that he wants, that kind of hinges upon their deaths. And due to a past incident, her older brother is unable to really defend himself since he no longer has any magical abilities. So because of all these circumstances, Elle has been working on the down low. Like, even though she is capable of producing really powerful charms and stuff, she only does rudimentary work in a small shop so that she can keep a low profile and prevent them from being discovered by her younger brother. This also means that it's she doesn't really have relationships with other people, because she's really afraid of forming attachments and drawing any kind of longer lasting, attention, since there's always the possibility that they may have to up and move on short notice. Then there is the character Luke, who is they called him a fixer for their agency. It never really clearly defines what their agency is responsible for, but it seems a bit like they handle a lot of protection and escort and security related missions. I don't think they're a legal organization exactly, but it seems more like they're contracted or called upon to help with probably maintaining order of some kind and just dealing with trouble when it comes up, as well as handling the secrecy, of the magical community among humans. It sounds like they enforce, or at least are somehow responsible for the laws that regulate whether or not you can use magic, where mundanes can see you, and things like that. So he has a really terrible reputation, but I guess I can't really talk to him. But anyways, he really likes the main character, and he's sort of working around certain obligations that he can't escape to try and court her, I guess. And their whole relationship is kind of sweetly awkward. This is a romance heavy story. The emphasis is definitely on the romance plot line, although there are also additional lines with Elle's history and the cases that Luke takes on. And I guess both of their attempt to manage some poor decision making in the past with their current obligations, responsibilities, and their desire to form a longer lasting relationship with each other. So something I liked about this story, I really appreciated how it emphasized, I think, the fact that people aren't defined by the powers that they have. It often feels like in stories where characters have special abilities that sometimes people get carried away with how cool abilities are, and seem to think that it's those cool abilities that make the characters cool, whereas I think this story really does a good job of highlighting that that's not what's important about a person. It's their personality, who they are as people, as opposed to what they can do that makes them likable, or that makes is the grounds for building relationships, and those are the factors of a person that makes them strong or makes them interesting or likable. And I think that's definitely something I really appreciated that this story did well. But something I did not like, I guess, would be like the main character Elle kind of struggles throughout the story with really low feelings of self-worth. Like, it's understandable because of her history with her family and like the incidents that happened with her brothers, but I admit, I guess I don't often have a lot of patience for that kind of it's kind of like self-pity, I suppose, but it's also just this constant feeling like, oh, she deserves not to be treated well, and I think I just don't have a lot of patience for that, and it gets a little irritating if it goes on for too long. I mean, it's definitely a major subject that the story is wrestling with, so it makes sense, but at the same time, it's just not a part that I particularly like.